Exactly.
It's Memorial Day, you
We're
know.
live.
Oh, it is
We are
Yeah,
live.
coming at you on
it's
a Monday.
it's Memorial Day. Like that's what we do. You know, we drink beers and we make podcasts.
Happy
You know,
Memorial Day, everybody.
yes.
Cheers.
Yvonne, I just talked to Yvonne. She just came back from Elgin. You know, that's where her dad hails from, Elgin, Northeast
Yeah.
Iowa, and they did the 21 gun salute and stuff up there. It's pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. Did you guys see my speed? Are we do we now put the rest, you know, to rest how fast this guy is? That's it. That's all.
Honestly, I wish we had taken a bet on the over under of number of minutes before this came up on the podcast. I knew it was
I
like
could have.
inevitable, but
I was
man,
gonna
I
jump
thought
right
we would at
into it.
least I thought we'd at least build into it. But all right, let's talk about it.
You know, yeah.
I got the deep dive digits on Eria's performance there.
Oh,
Yeah.
did we know
Yeah.
numbers?
6 hours and 2 minutes, buddy.
Yeah, well, that's total time. Moving
I
time
know,
was
I know,
less.
I know. Yeah, that's total time. That's good job.
How many
Yeah,
miles?
it was hot, man. It was hot.
How long was that race?
68 miles. Right?
68 miles.
Okay.
Yeah. So I honestly, so let me take you guys back. I could have gone faster. Okay.
Always.
But I woke up and my stomach was killing. I couldn't eat anything for the first 3 hours
Oh.
of the ride.
Dude,
Did you eat something bad, or was it like
I don't know.
Yeah.
what did you have packed in your backpack? Like
Well,
dead bodies?
you know,
Your
no,
backpack was like,
no, that was the pre-ride.
oh, that was the pre-ride.
That was the
Gotcha.
pre-ride. Yeah. So race day, I had the the race day setup, and I still had all the equipment, but it was lighter. But I woke up and I felt like Saturday morning. I was like, I feel full, like I just ate a meal.
And
Like
why? It's so weird that happens. I mean, I don't ever have stomach issues, but like the few times that I've had stomach issues, it's like the morning of an event. And for me,
Yeah.
I think it has to be stress or something. Like I don't know what it is, but I don't understand like how you train day in day out. You're eating the same things.
Yes.
Like you even are more protective around yourself. Like when you are prepping for a race,
So-
like the nights before, and then all of a sudden you're sick. Like
So
what?
listen, the early 2000s, my buddy Don and I were going to West Virginia every weekend, a mountain bike race. All right. So what do? You go down to West Virginia, you hit up a Shoney's or a Eaton Park, and you go to the buffet, and you just wolf down like pancakes and all this stuff. So I'd eat these pancakes, I get to the starting line, and either at the starting line or just in before the starting line or after we say go, I'm off in the weeds, just heaving my guts out.
Wait. Every time.
Almost every race.
And you said, hold on,
Holy
can we back
cow.
up then? And you said you went to Shoney's in West Virginia.
It was
every
either
time.
it wasn't always a Shoney's. It was always some sort of a big meal. All right.
There are a lot of mysteries out there in the world, but I think we got this one solved
So listen.
pretty quick.
I do this for a couple of years, and sometimes I'm like, I start off great, and next thing you know, I'm like jumping off the trail, and I'm going to hurl, and then I got to get back on my bike and race again. I found out that I was celiac in 2003, so I'm eating all those carbs and stuff,
Oh my goodness, dude.
and my stomach's revolting.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought it was
Well, you get a
nerves.
shit ton of them, right?
I didn't know it at the time. I thought it was nerves. I thought, well, I'm not nervous. I mean, I don't get that nervous about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured out I was, gluten-free,
Holy
celiac.
cow.
And guess what? I stopped eating, pancakes
A dozen
or
pancakes.
cereal before a race, and I was fine.
wow.
Cause so what do you do I guess you could do there like gluten-free pancakes and stuff that you can eat then, right? Yeah,
Yeah, but
right.
not back then. But
Back then, yeah. Back then it was not a thing.
no,
Unless
Shoney's
you
was
grew
not
up.
known for its gluten-free
no.
offerings, other than like the ham slices
Yeah.
or
There you go.
spam. I don't know if spam is gluten-free, but I
Yeah.
probably could have gotten by with that.
It might be. Back then, a lot of things weren't,
Yeah.
and a lot of things have changed. But yeah. So you weren't feeling well. What did you have to eat?
Sorry, guys. I lost connection. There we go.
Yeah.
You're good. Jason
So
asked what
Yeah.
you had to eat if you weren't feeling so well.
yeah.
Well, so I ended up putting. So I always put maple syrup in my bottle,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I doubled up on that. Now try to eat the gels, and I'll like instantly like throw them up.
Oh.
So I was just drinking, So normally I'll do like probably this much left on the top of the bottle, a 21-ounce bottle. I'll fill that up with maple syrup, you know. So I'll be able to like I increased that a little bit, and that helped,
Yeah.
But I just had no power, just going
Yeah.
in.
I mix
Wait.
my maple syrup with honey and salt.
Huh. Yeah, I do put element in there. I put element in there.
You fill
Um,
your 21-ounce bottle up to this much left with just maple syrup?
yeah.
Do you put water in there?
No, it's water, and then
Water and then
yeah,
maple syrup.
then this cup.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm sitting over here thinking that you're like Elf, like Buddy the Elf, just like
No.
just a thick maple syrup
Yeah,
concoction.
no. So that kept me going, but man, anytime like I'll try to stick with the group to go fast, I just didn't have the power.
You had some power there
Finally,
for a bit though. You just blew it all out trying to follow the national champ, you know?
so that was later. He cut, because he was doing the 117.
Ah,
So this is how much. Because last year I was able to finish the same distance before the pros even finished.
hmm.
This year, I mean, they cut me with still like 15, 18 miles to go probably. So it was, yeah, the Dutch Mafia rolled through, and Brennan was like chasing them. So I like, shit, let's go, man. So I jumped on, and it's incredible how fast and strong those guys are. Like,
Yeah.
they just look like they're just riding, but the amount of power they're able to just put down on pedals. I have to increase my cadence to like 120 to match the power that he's doing, and at that point in time, I'm not, my heart rate's like poof.
Yeah.
But
just
it was nice. It was fun. We were passing people like they were walking.
Yeah.
But
So how you were on the wheel for how long, you think?
I would say probably a quarter mile.
Quarter mile. So like
Yeah.
how do you know what your power was while you were just sitting
I
back
have to
there?
check.
Just give us
I'll
a
have to
guess.
check.
I'm just curious.
Probably like 350 around there.
Yeah.
I'll
I mean, that
pull up
makes
soon,
sense.
but yeah, probably like 350. Like it was like definitely. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find out. But yeah, probably like around 350 around there. Like it's just insane. And even then, he was not even going full gas because he was trying to help me out, right? So it's just, can't imagine like once if like yeah, no, it was awesome. It was a highlight though. Like what
Super
other
cool.
sport can you do that?
I
Right?
I just saw Dylan Johnson's out for this weekend, but I just saw it was like doing 470 miles a week, 25 hours a week for training.
Yeah, dude, he did
Crazy.
This the Unbound block is what they're calling it these days.
Yeah.
And every pro is doing quote unquote the Unbound block, and these dudes are doing like 30, some of them are doing like 30 to 35 hours a week for multiple weeks in a row. Like I was looking at Russell Finsterwald because he and Kerry Warner are doing a pretty cool video series on YouTube. Everyone should check that out.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we could link it just so people could see it. But yeah, he did something like it was like one week it was like 35 hours and like something like 76,000 feet of climbing or something crazy like that. Like, I mean, and I think the idea is like they're just trying to build up that like high end of your endurance zone because
Yeah.
that's what Unbound is. It's like, a tempo race and
Yeah.
endurance race, and the better you can raise your like lactate threshold to, then the more likely you're going to survive for that whole race. But I mean, it's crazy. And to your point, Jason, like Dylan, man, sucks so bad. He got hit by
I
a
know.
car. Like,
I know that's
I mean,
such a bummer.
yeah. I mean, I think we could talk about that a little bit around because there were several instances where I think some people got sideswiped by cars and things like that. But yeah, I mean, to put that much effort into, digging
All that
yourself into
training.
a hole to just absorb it all, and then, all
What
for
And you,
nothing. So
cause
what
wasn't he like top 10 last year, right?
yeah.
yeah.
What's gonna be sick
If he could
though is
sprint, he get a top five. He can't sprint, so
he's gonna probably be back on the bike in like 4.5 weeks or something too.
I don't know, man. He broke
The
his tibial
femur.
head.
And he doesn't
Yeah.
eat meat, so it's gonna take him forever to get that, the bone density back.
Oh
Yeah.
no, he'll
That's
no.
that's
He'll get those.
that's
He'll
what
eat
that's what
supplements.
Scott would say on their podcast.
He's
Yeah.
You
probably
need to eat meat.
he's probably drinking his olive oil by the gallon right now to try and help him out.
Yeah.
I gotta say though. So as we're talking about the putting that much time, I remember not last year, the year before, I ended up I ramped up my trainer road to 18 hours a week. I just wanted to see. I'm like, you know what? Let me just see. And I got fast, but I was getting sick like all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was just because my body was tired all the time. And I think you have to kind of adapt to, biking that much. Like for me, 18, I usually do like, 8 to 10 hours, go almost double, and I was just killing me. Like,
Yeah.
I just felt like I couldn't do anything else. Like I was tired. Everything
So
was prioritized rest.
so the most I've ever done in a week would be like Tour Divide, where I did like 700 miles in a week or something, or more than that. But I did the 1,000 mile in a month challenge
Oh yes, I remember
for
that.
the Trek a couple years ago. And I was like up in the morning to ride the trainer for 25 miles, and then before bed riding 25 miles, and it'll get
Yeah.
you fast. You got to put the
Yeah,
time.
you get fast,
Yeah.
but you sacrifice a lot.
Yeah.
Like Graham, if you did that, you got two young kids,
Yeah,
especially
I would be world tour if I could do that.
you know.
No, but I mean, I think you made a good point, Eria. Is like I think a lot of people want to add volume, and like you all of a sudden have this opportunity to do it. Like say you got a vacation or you just got some time, and you got to be really careful about that. And then the type of volume that you're doing, because like Trainer Road, like kind of notoriously known for putting you at that sweet spot or tempo, like kind of hurt your zone. And to do
Yeah,
that much, like 18 hours of a trainer road workouts, like yeah, I think that would kill you. I mean, I think
yeah,
that's how these pros get away with it because okay, maybe they ride 30 hours a week, but A, they have the time, and B, 80 to 90% of that time, their heart rate is under 135 beats per minute.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
they're just noodling along, and then they throw in some intensity, but I think you got to be careful as you step up. If you are trying to add some volume, like it's got to be. That's what sucks about cycling is you can't just like go out and train a little bit and get good. It takes so
No
long to build
commitment.
your
I had a
bones.
guy tell me, posted on the reel I put up. He's like, "Oh, you just need to do 5 hours of zone 2, and then you won't blow up riding behind." Like, no, like those guys are pro riders. They do that for a living. I'm like, I can go do zone 2 for the next year, and I still can't ride as fast as those guys. There's just no
Yeah.
way. So I'm like, no. I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. I just can't get out of bed and be like, oh, I'm just going to do zone 2, and then I'll be able to ride with World Tour guys from now on.
Well, I mean, if you like genetics, like let's call genetics what they are. Like if once you
Talent.
get your talent, right, versus grit. But yeah, and then the other piece too is like I mean we all have lives, right? Like you have your life
Yeah.
stress, and that is TSS unmeasured, right?
Yes.
And you've gotta prioritize recovery more than anything, and it's like doing it in the right way, and like you
Got to
know,
mow the lawn,
gotta mow
you
the
know.
lawn, gotta
I had to mow my lawn.
Yeah,
Imagine.
imagine
right,
that.
right. Like
Well,
I just want to ride my bike and make videos.
someone needs to make a
You
trainer that you could attach to your lawnmower, and
There you
Oh,
go.
I've
you
seen
know,
them.
yeah, and then you can sit
Well,
there and just do
actually,
intervals.
you're right. Like have a trainer that's kind of like a Zwift environment. The trainer is outside. The lawnmower is outside. You get on your trainer because you've seen them on YouTube where people have RC cars. You wear your augmented reality
Yeah.
sunglasses, and you can control your RC car that way. That's what they need to do. You get on the trainer, boom, cutting your grass 20 miles.
That's
Done.
actually not a terrible idea.
You know?
I think I might like more the idea though if I could get a big enough deck on my mower to where I could put the trainer on top of it.
Yeah.
It'd be like one of those little cats on a Roomba,
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
riding around,
Just sit
just
on
doing
there.
my intervals.
Like,
That'd probably be the only way you'd see me on a trainer. Otherwise, yeah, never.
well, you're lucky you got the weather down there to be able to ride outside all year long. Jason used
Yeah.
to, but he's out of the club now. He's,
It
he's in
was
my
it
club.
rained here every day last week.
He,
And luckily I
so
was a little sick, so I didn't really get I wasn't really that I was off the bike, but I couldn't run anyway. So
Yeah, our
you're
trails have
hanging
been
out with those
closed.
your
Yeah.
nephews. They're getting you sick.
my mom
Yeah.
did it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's
You know?
okay. She gets a pass. I'm down here in Emporia. It's been
I
raining all day.
I gotta give mom a hug, whether she's sick or not. So
Yeah, facts.
all right, so starting line at Hico,
Dutch
vibes are good,
Mafia.
although you were like not feeling well.
Yeah.
And
I wasn't
then
feeling well, but I still lined up front, and I tried to light it up. I couldn't. I stayed with with a group, and I just fell back. I just feel like I just couldn't turn the pedals.
yeah.
I kind of fell back and I just stayed, doing my own race. I was like, well, I'll do more filming this time around, and so first I made a total noob mistake. I looked at my weather app. It said partly cloudy. I didn't look for the whole day. So I wore my transition lenses
Yeah.
and the sun came out full brightness, like
Yeah.
maybe an hour and a half in. So my eyes were just burning. It felt like somebody was like holding like candles. That was just killing. So, and then I thought about that, and then my stomach was hurting. So I just kind of that took away, the stomach took the distraction away from the eyes,
Yeah.
and it got incredibly hot. I think it was like 96 high of the day. People were cramping and stroking out, like they were
Yeah.
like left, right, and center. I was coming up this hill. So there's a section where we did an out and back. There's a checkpoint that we did twice. This dude's coming up. I'm like, man, he looked like he was going pretty fast, and then he just kind of started fading. And I see him like slowly, like just going, sideways. I turned off the camera. I didn't want to like kind of record the guy in his bad state,
His final moments.
Slow motion, falls down, like legs all stretched out. He couldn't unclip.
Yeah.
So I jump off my bike. I'm like, dude, are you okay? Like my legs, and I could see his muscles
Yeah.
just pulsating. I was like, you're done. Like you think I'm like, you're done. I'm like, you have the SAG number. He didn't have the SAG number. I'm like, I got it here. I'm like, just call this guy. It's like, there's no way you're gonna be able to. There was at that point there was like 25 miles left. I'm like, there's no way.
Was he in the 68?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was definitely faster than me. He had probably like 4 miles ahead. But we got to the checkpoint, and so this is what's unique about Gravel Locos. For the price of what you pay, I don't even remember. It's a very minimal compared to like Unbound. They had 4 checkpoints for that 67-mile ride. They had any kind of nutrition you would want. On top of that, they had ice cold water, like hundreds of bags of ice. So they were pouring like the jugs of ice cold water. Like if you wanted it, they'll pour it on you. So of course I was there. That had them poured two of them, and so people kept on calling like Iowa, Iowa. Friends of the channel, and the lady that was in the back, she's like, "Are you from Iowa?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm from Iowa." She's like, "Oh, those are my granddaughters. They're visiting. They're from Cedar Rapids."
Oh wow.
I was like, "Holy cow!" And then another older gentleman sitting there, he was racing too. He's like, "I'm from Iowa too." So I was like, "Holy cow!" It was like six people from Iowa right there, this checkpoint. But finally, after that checkpoint, I drank a Coca-Cola, and that I don't know what's about. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Coke, I feel like instant boost. Sprite takes longer, but I feel like it stays with me much longer. But I took a Coke, and man, I was good to go.
Yeah.
I was the last 25 miles. I was able to I felt good. I rode road sections, just cut a lot of people. I was feeling good. I was like, man, I wish, but it was good. It was good. It was a good race. I met this guy in the last mile. Now it wasn't a sprint because we didn't decide on a sprint. He's riding a specialized S-Works mountain bike. They're epic, that super fast mountain bike.
Yeah.
We're on the road, man. I catch this guy, and we just rolling. We're rolling super hot, and I could hear his tire, man. He latches on. I'm like, man. I crank it up. The guy cranks it up. I'm like, I can't shake this guy. Finally, he's like, hey man, I follow the channel. Like I wanted to chat with you, so we chat. But this dude was strong. But he said that he was cramping too all day. So we crossed together. So it wasn't this. We couldn't sprint together, but it was good. It's good
Dude,
time.
honestly, hearing about your race, it sounds like you nailed it. Like, feel terrible in the morning and then gain strength as the day goes on. Like,
I know.
I know that sucks, but like, I mean, 96-degree heat to be able to get through that and feel good towards the end, like, especially
My
going into this
plan.
weekend.
Yeah, my plan was to be in the front, cause I lined up at the very front.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, maybe it's not a good. So I started pedaling. I was like, there's a little climb coming out of town. I stay with the group, and I'm like, no, I can't do this. I just don't have the power. So I give up. Just did my own thing. It was still good though. So not bad.
Did it put you in a deep hole? What are you racing this weekend? Are you doing you're doing the
Oh, I'm
200?
not.
Oh, I thought
I'm
you
just.
were.
Oh no, I'm just hanging out.
Oh, nice.
Oh
Just
yeah,
the shakeout rides. That's perfect.
yeah, just hanging out. Right now I'm
Nice.
on Mechanic Street. The main street where all the group rides go in and out of. The one thing I forget about this town is the freaking train.
The
They
train.
Yeah.
have it. They have a train that goes every maybe 2 hours, and it just boom like maybe 2 blocks from here.
Does it shake your van?
No, it's just loud, super
Ah,
loud.
that sucks. I used to have
Like
a
you,
house. I used to have a house right next to the railroad tracks, and it would go by, and it was like a little earthquake going off in our house every single time, and it was the best thing in the world. You'd wake up, and it would just kind of shake
just
you back to
rocket
sleep,
to
rock
sleep.
you back to sleep. It was so nice, but yeah, the
No,
horn not so much. Yeah, I guess.
crazy man.
So
Yeah,
what's the weather going to be like down there this
Yeah, you
week?
said it was rainy.
so man, if I was planning on racing 200, I'd be shaking my boots right now. It's supposed to rain up until Thursday.
Ah,
Mm.
Yeah,
get everything nice and soggy.
and it's not going to warm up that much. I think
Is it going
like
to be
Saturday.
windy? It's
Didn't
windy,
look
that'll
like
dry
it.
things out.
No, not really, not much wind. So Saturday will get up to 83, but Thursday will be 70, 79 Friday, partly cloudy. So
It's gonna be
people that are
soggy.
doing the 200 or the 100 even, they're going to be riding through some mud puddles or walking through some mud puddles.
Which the mud year? What was that? 2020 or 2021?
20, no, that was like 2 years ago, right? 20,
2022, 3.
22, 23,
I don't
I feel
know.
like every 2 or 3
23,
years is a mud
23.
year.
But the bad mud year where it was like 9 miles in and everybody walked. Like,
Yeah,
which direction
23.
did they go? Did they go south or north that year?
I think that was south. Because last
Which
year they went north for the first time in a
which way
long
are they
time.
going this year?
North,
Oh, dang it! I was hoping you would
yeah.
say south. I'd
Yeah.
get excited. Do
No,
it
they
all
go north.
over again.
But I think there is still I was looking at Laura King should put some stuff up, and looks like there is, some roads are closed off already. So if it
Well,
keeps raining,
this makes me realize like it's something that took me forever to realize like living I lived out in Iowa for a few years, but I never understood the idea of like north south versus east west roads when you're talking about like rain or snow and things like that, and north south B roads like
yeah,
don't go on those when it's after rain because they just don't get as much sunlight, like as opposed to the east west roads which get sun the whole time. And so kind
correct.
of curious to know what kind of course recon goes into that. If you get that much rain over that many days, like, are there going to be like pinch points and decision points that they're already anticipating?
Right, and I don't remember. I think there was some controversial stuff last year when they had well, 2 years ago when they had the mud. That I think Unbound chose not to change the route, even though they had one that was would have been slightly better. So I don't know how that's going to shake out, if they're going to make any adjustments, or if they're just going to be like, oh, these are the routes, come rain or shine.
Yeah, I get an opinion on that. For the pros, I don't think you change the route. I think the route's
Yeah,
the route, and like you go out there and figure out your way through it. But for people that are participating, this is a participation event
yeah,
for 99% of people. And for people that are participating, like there's a time and place for difficulty, but I think it needs to be novelty difficulty. Like not something where you're going to ruin your bike or ruin your day or potentially get hurt because of that. Like and so I would like to see them, for the participation side of things, at least give the option. Like
no, no, no option.
no
Here's what
option.
I here's what I think for Unbound. Unbound is just kind of known, like especially if you're doing the 200. If you sign up for the 200, you should be ready, because it's a mental game. Because most people maybe will do Unbound once, maybe twice, but I think conquering that distance should have its own bragging rights, and you should be ready. You know,
I
But you
agree
can
with.
be you can
I
be ready though, like because there's
well, yeah,
no,
that's what I mean. Like,
no, I
what?
do. I agree with Eria. I mean, everybody knows there's threat of rain,
Yeah,
and if it rains, it's gonna get muddy, and you might have to push your bike. So
yeah,
that's part of what you're signing up for. Is
yeah,
maybe I get a dry year.
I
yeah. You hope.
agree. I
You
Yeah,
agree.
hope.
But like the difference is though is that like some people are showing up with one bike, like one set of wheels, one
yeah,
set of tires,
You
and
gotta learn.
yep,
yeah, but
Walk
you
your bike.
can't learn.
Walk your
Like
bike. Walk your bike.
I don't know,
That's
Ria.
yeah.
here's the thing. You
Like I mean,
walk your
these
bike.
people are these people are paying how like what Unbound and Trees like what 250 $300 or something like that.
350.
Three
Well, you,
fifty. So 350 plus flights plus hotel plus you're bringing your $8,000 bike and you're gonna trash your bike.
Throw it on the shoulder. Think about, like, for example, when Jason, like when you do tour divide, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
You're not paying money to make it easy.
yeah, yeah. So, actually,
All
we
right.
were talking about it this weekend. We were talking about a couple of dudes that I was hanging out with. They're both done Unbound 200, and they're kind of like the same sentiment. We're like, Unbound, like just the distance alone is a super mental block, right? So you have to prepare for riding that, but you also have to know that you're gonna have to adjust everything that you do to be able to finish that race. And if you can't finish it, then you come back and learn and do it. You know, that's just the bragging rights that you
Yeah,
get for riding 200 miles in Kansas.
it's
You know,
like that's a Tour Divide thing too.
yeah,
They're there to make it happen, and if the year that you go to ride down from Canada to Mexico and it snows its ass off and 13
yeah.
people are life flighted, well then that's your year.
And if you can't do it, you live with the disappointment. We can't,
Yeah,
we can't always get what we want.
So here like I'm gonna sit firmly here. Like I can't I don't think it's a fair comparison between the Tour Divide and Unbound though. Because the Tour Divide, like, okay, say you do the Tour Divide with like the official send off and everything like that. I don't know if that costs money or anything. And I know that the Tour Divide in general costs money because like it's such a long endeavor, and there's so many logistics that go into it. But it's still, that's like an individual personal endeavor in which like you choose your pace, time, destination, place, and how you do everything. Unbound is put on by Lifetime Sports or whatever the hell it's called. Like it is a money making profit, like for profit company that is putting on an entertainment endurance event for people.
Even the more
And
reason for them to make it harder so that you
Yeah.
can keep coming back
Yeah.
until you finish.
but people are like, I agree with, I think you're right for a small segment of people, but there are some people that like, I worry that it would turn people off from riding, because I think there are people, I guarantee you
Oh,
there's a certain percentage of people that did that mud event, trashed their bike, and their bike is probably still sitting in their garage, has never been touched,
yeah.
and they stopped riding
Yes,
Well,
yes.
forever.
But that's the way I see it,
hey,
That's
that
the way
can
I
happen
see
at
it.
any event, really.
Yes. Because when I woke up Saturday morning, that's not how I was hoping to wake up. But I knew that, like, okay, this sucks. I'm going to go out there and do the best. I actually didn't even think I was going to be able to ride 30 miles, let alone 67. So I think, when we sign up for this, endurance stuff, there's a low level of hardship that you have to adapt to, and you need to learn some stuff. Like, hey, when you get to a B road that's super caked over, you get off your bike. Don't try to ride your bike. Pick up your bike, and walk it. The year I did Unbound, we hiked for 4.5 miles. People didn't really talk about it because our mud came like 100 miles into the race, but we hiked like, no kidding, 4.5 miles, and then with 30 to go, we hiked another 2 miles, like in the dark, pitch black.
Yeah.
But we knew, like, hey, you pick up your bike because otherwise you're gonna be looking for a stick to clean up your bike when you can't see nothing, and it's like the Flint Hills, so there's no sticks. So
Yeah.
get off your bike and pick it up, put it on your shoulder. It's gonna suck, but you're gonna have to walk slowly and get it done. So yeah, I definitely understand, but I don't. I'm on the side of like, you learn, you adapt, and if you can't make it, you don't make the cut.
Yeah,
That's
you
just
guys,
how
The,
it
you guys
is.
are sociopaths, but it's
the,
fine.
the,
I like you both, anyways. So
the
it's all
race
good.
is
It's
the
all
race
good.
is the race,
Yeah,
Well,
The race is the race.
I'm gonna
Hey,
stick to
yeah.
my road races and
how
easy
about our
travel events.
speaking of road races, how about our buddy Luke?
Dude, Luke killing it in the U23 National Road Race. Got in the early break, dropped all of his break companions, and freaking almost made it to the line.
I know he
Got
just
caught in the
got caught
last lap.
there at the last, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what a showing! Like the guy's
But
so strong.
he ended up second.
I don't know I didn't see the final results, to be
I
honest
think
with
so,
you.
right?
I think so, yeah.
Did he
Yeah,
really? Jeez.
yeah.
I
What a
mean, there
We
beast.
need
was
to
only
bring.
3 people in the breakaway. I can't, and then there was 2 of them.
Let's look it up.
I can't believe he got caught by more than. But yeah, good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kid's got a bright future ahead of him. Super fast.
Oh, maybe he's gonna. Was he doing this weekend? Maybe he
No.
could take Dylan's place.
Yeah, right.
I'm kind of bad for Dylan that he's not gonna race, man. That's all he's been talking about. Is my
No.
unbound block this. So
I'm more worried about how fucked up his bike was.
yeah. Well,
Did you see
he
it?
didn't he
Yeah.
didn't
No,
pay
I
for it,
didn't see any of it, but
so he's gonna get a new one.
oh yeah, but
You know.
he's gonna have to get it all painted again.
I know, man. That's the life of a pro. At least, you know what? At least he lives to ride another day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
no, the road stuff. It's just crazy because you see so many distracted drivers. So I guess I don't know what the answer is with the sport. You go on a gravel road, you get trash there. You go, you ride on a sidewalk, you get yelled at. So where are we supposed to ride our bikes at?
Mountain bikes, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
No,
you
man.
get yelled at by hikers sometimes, but like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
but
Yeah,
like,
did you guys see that video of this mountain biker? noticed that there were these weird um, obstacles, shall I say, on the trail, like a huge boulder, like in a corner, in a blind corner where you come in doing 25 miles an hour on your mountain
Yeah.
bike, and a couple of people almost got, like seriously hurt. So they are like, well, you know what? Let's put a trail cam out there. They put a
Yeah.
trail cam, and this guy was just coming out, in the middle of the day and putting huge rocks, sticks, or just,
It's that guy in New
just
York, right? Was this in
yeah,
New York? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. They caught him, and like,
crazy.
yeah, it's wild. Yeah, I
I'm
mean, I
like,
understand.
Well,
Like, we don't have a whole lot of like mixed use trails here in Chattanooga. Like, it's like dedicated mountain bike or dedicated hiking. There is one trail system that we have, which is like I don't ride it because it's notorious for like the fear of decapitating like a labradoodle or
yeah.
something like that. But yeah, I mean, I get it, but that's crazy to like, I mean, to try to injure someone,
On
that's
well,
wild. Yeah,
this is what they should do with the road cycling and people hitting people with cars. Just make them liable and really throw the book at them. If
yeah,
the guy that hit Dylan Johnson gets the book thrown at him and has to spend 6 months in jail because he was negligent and pulled out in front of him and hit this guy on a bike, well then hey,
yeah.
that word's going to get around and people are going to pay a little more attention. That's what they do to motorcycles. If you hit somebody on a motorcycle, you
Right,
yeah.
and
I
that's
just worry that there's like not precedent though. I mean, like there have been so many situations in which like people have been hit on bikes and for
well,
whatever reason, like there's not a
yeah,
lot of follow through. Like, I mean, I think about like Derek Teal. Do you guys know who that is? He's the guy who does
yeah.
dialed
The
health.
the down
yeah.
the down
Yeah,
health
yeah.
guy.
So he got hit,
Yeah. Oh
and
yeah,
the guy
man.
ran away. They found him, and I don't know where the case
Zero
stands now.
consequences,
But
really.
yeah, I don't think that there were a lot of like criminal consequences. Like there's going to be a civil lawsuit, obviously, but that's really just like laid out between the insurance companies of who pays for it and whatnot. But yeah, it's really wild. Like there's just not a lot of
Well, yeah. And what confuses me is if you and I got in, like, let's say, fender bender, the cops are gonna like investigate, make sure neither one of us was like on drugs or intoxicated, right? But the dynamic shifts when you hit a pedestrian or a cyclist or a motorcycle. A lot of times it just kind of, oh hey, it's an accident, and then just kind of that's
yeah,
that's the extent of that. I'm like, I think anytime there's a car to bike or pedestrian or skateboarder, I think they should do the same level of investigation that
Yep.
they would if you lose like, there's a failure to maintain, like, remember, like, there's a traffic law where it's rule where it's failure to maintain your vehicle, right? If you just can't, use display signs of like, I couldn't control my vehicle, like, you can be punished for that with jail time. So why don't we look at that and see what were they doing when they hit that yeah, the Dow Health guy. I mean, he was in the hospital for months, right?
yeah, yeah.
Like multiple surgeries to and money that he's gonna have to pay, health insurance and all that fun stuff. Yeah, kind of scary stuff.
It's sad. I mean, I think like we just try to make ourselves as safe as possible, right? And then there's a certain level of risk that just is associated with it, with determining on what type of riding you're doing and things like that. But yeah,
Yeah, no, no, that's why I started riding now. Like, I ride with the headlight all the time, night or day. I have a blinker during the day in the front and the back. You know, I figure it's just one more thing to help with visibility. Otherwise,
yeah.
you're just waiting to be ran over. What's with the Strava breakaway? Like, I used that breakaway app for a little while. That's a pretty cool app.
You
I
did.
never heard of it until you guys
Really?
talked about
So like,
Jason, the
what?
non-tech, the non-tech guy. Oh, before we get onto the breakaway thing, Jason, have you used your drop a seat post yet, or what? Oh,
it.
you
It's
see?
still not hooked up.
Fair.
All right, never mind. Go ahead, Graham.
No, I mean, I saw that I at least from what I understand, like so Strava, we all like probably use Strava, or at least anyone that listens to this podcast has dabbled in it. Jason, I know you don't do that.
He's
push
on
your route.
Strava.
Oh,
I'm on Strava. I
thought,
haven't really posted much.
sorry, I thought you were using like MapQuest or something for your rides and stuff like that. But it's all good.
Google
It's all good.
Maps.
Google Maps, yeah.
Yeah, Yahoo Maps.
No,
They've
but
got
like,
these you get them, at the trailheads. There's like a little mailbox at the trailhead. You open it up and it's like paper.
yeah,
It's like paper thin, and you unfold it and there's like a map. It's got all the
crazy.
pencil drawings in there.
Wild.
And I
wild.
put that on my handlebars.
You just put it on your bars with,
Yeah, and
with
I
your
draw a
your
little-
bull horns,
Yeah.
on there.
Okay,
it
so
really
let me
stretches
ask
out.
you guys this: what are your thoughts on? I have my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys have to say. What do you? What's to be gained if people are not like? Cause like for example, this weekend there are some people that are still not riding with the head unit. Ride with GPS you can put on your phone, and get time per time. But there's still people up to this day still asking for directions. Is there a benefit to not riding with your map if you're doing like an adventure like that?
No, there's no
Right?
advantage.
I feel like you're just complicating your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like so many people who are lost. I'm like,
What's wrong with you? Get a GPS.
or if you don't want to use the tech on the bike, right with GPS, you could, turn by turn, and you're good to go. And then
There's a dozen different apps that you can use.
Yeah. No, so it just kind of blows my mind that like people are still rolling 2025 and.
So are you talking about the people that are like choosing not to use a GPS and then lost in the world and asking for directions?
Yes.
Or because like there's two people, like I actually admire the people that don't use a GPS and then they can follow the course signs or the cue sheets or whatever. They know that. Like that's pretty cool to me. Yeah, dude, if you're not using a GPS and you're coming up to me and asking which way to go,
hey, where we're going?
I'm a nice person, but I might tell you to go the wrong way.
And you're going up this 3 mile climb. You're dying. It's like, hey, how long is this climb? I'm like, if you want to know that information, please either look at the course.
Yeah.
And now there's actually a software where you can print off like, hey, at mile 45, we have a 2 mile climb at average grade of 3%. So I'd say like, if you're going to go as far as like not wanting to do a GPS, you should be okay with just blindly riding a climb and not knowing when it's going to be over.
What's it going to get you if I ask you how long is this climb? Whether you're accurate or not, what does it get me?
Yeah, you should just. I think the blanket answer should be like, "Oh, it really hasn't started yet." That should be the answer, and then they'll think it's gonna get worse, and then they finish and they're fine and like they get through it. Yeah, it honestly surprises me though that anyone doing like a race like Gravel Locos or any major gravel race, like off-road race, like to not have basic navigation skills or resources it's a little odd to me. Like,
I could see if it's a short course, 10, 15 miles and the weather is good.
Yeah, for sure.
But when it's like when
you're out there, I mean, like I've used my GPS, like I've appreciated it most when I've abandoned races and I'm like, okay, what's the shortest way home?
Yeah.
Like what is the route me to start? Like
the fastest way to get back.
Yeah, for sure.
You gotta watch that though. Sometimes that'll put you down a highway you really don't want to be on, but
that's what happened to me in freaking Turkey. When we bailed at the
Turkey,
like 10
the
miles,
town, not the country.
Yeah, that's right.
For a moment there, I was like, when in the hell did Eria go race in Turkey? What are
not
we
yet?
talking about?
I will go there to Turkey and we'll rest and we'll eat goat curry.
You know what we need to do next year, guys? We talked about sea otter. Let's go to the Rift.
Oh man, that would be something.
Be cool,
man. Yes, and your people are from there, Iceland, aren't they?
Yeah.
You
look like you'd fit in.
I'll ride there.
Yeah,
man, that looks gnarly though too, huh?
That's definitely
bucket list.
It's always bad weather.
It's all good.
Yeah,
it's 85% chance you're getting bad weather. And
That's a
then
race
there's
though I would like. Suffering in Kansas through bad weather and trashing a bike sounds awful. Going to Iceland and feeling like a Viking as I like go past volcanoes and
right,
past the glaciers, like I'm
and
in.
right into the lava rock.
Yeah, like I'm in. Like I'll kill a bike.
Carol went there with a bunch of those homies from Iowa City there, and I think they stayed in like a abandoned cabin for like 3 days because it rained the whole time.
See, so we need to do the rift. We'll make a bucket list.
I want to do
Team Cape Epic. Team Cape Epic.
Okay.
Excuse me.
I want to do.
Excuse me. Cape Epic.
Yeah, you mountain biker. Both of you guys ride mountain bikes.
I think
Team
we need
Cape Epic.
I think we need to do the world's longest climb in Hawaii.
There's a new gravel race in Hawaii.
From the sea level the whole way to the top of the mountain. Whatchamacallit?
Is it Kilauea? Is that it?
It's on the Big Island, yeah. So it's like from sea level to 13,000 feet. It's like a 60-mile gravel ride.
I've got an e-bike. I'm in.
I got to drop a couple LBSs before I can do that.
Oh no,
no. Imagine the descent. We'll just drop Jason.
Oh, we're driving down. We're riding up.
Right, we're right. Poof, man. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Did you see that's one of those impossible routes with what's his name?
Tyler Pierce, vegan cyclist.
Yeah, and the other guy.
They had a falling out.
They're Virginia. Name? He's from Virginia.
Yeah, Jeremiah Bishop.
JB.
Yeah, JB. Yeah, I think they're still friends. I think they're, their chemical
they're friends.
composition
they're not just professionally friendly anymore.
Yeah. So. Which is kind of sad. I enjoy those series.
Iowa
I like Jeremiah Bishop, the vegan cyclist. He just.
Yeah, he's different.
He rubs you wrong.
He rubs me a little bit wrong.
Yeah, he's a little pro-y. I'll give
he is. I do enjoy his content though.
Yeah, his content is good. I will say, yeah. Honestly, that Bonk Bros episode with him on there, just fighting with Dizzle, was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. So.
Ridiculous. That was crazy.
Yeah,
that was like prima donna level.
So we got the Rift. I want to do that world's longest climb. What's the other one? What's another one?
Cape Epic team.
Wait,
Cape Epic.
I thought the world's longest climb was in like Chile or like Colombia or something. There's one that's like a 60-mile.
Yeah, climb. I think there is another one.
And it's something like 20,000. No, it's not 20,000. That'd be crazy. But it's some crazy amount of climbing. But it's something like a 40 or 50 or 60-mile climb that you do have to do on like these just terrifying roads. So we need Yvonne or me in the truck behind, like kind of like running.
You in the truck? No, you're riding, man.
Listen, guys.
You see
as much as I'd love, I want that climb. I wake up every day just wanting that climb. But if someone has to ride in the truck and do that, I will do that.
You volunteer?
Yeah, I'll volunteer. Yeah.
The other one, I think that will be fun here stateside, is 24 hours of the Old Pueblo.
24 hours? Can you do that as a team?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in. I got the day shift.
Yeah. No.
Dibs. I called it, dude. I called it. Dibs.
No, we're taking a lap. Let's say we get 2 more people, maybe even 3 more people. We do a 6-man team.
Yeah.
Or we can even do men and women. You take a lap, the next person goes, the next person goes, the next person goes. So you could easily have, a couple hours in between your riding.
It sounds amazing.
You're drinking beer, what's that, Fireball, as you wait for your turn.
Yeah, get on my bike and fall over. Give me some training wheels, maybe.
And then we'll make Jason, that would be ill. I'll have you take a couple of my laps for me.
I'll do a couple for you.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get my legs back, I've done like every ride I go out is like 10 or 15 miles at least with like 1,500, 2,000 feet of climbing.
On the mountain bike?
Whoa.
I've been riding gravel too. I've been riding my gravel bike too. So, but yeah, it's like everything I do is just like out and up a hill and then back down. and uphill and then back down.
I got somebody trolling me in the chats here.
Finally trolling
Yeah.
you, not me.
What are they saying? What's going on here?
Yeah, I can't see
They
it.
say that I don't even need a 6-man team. I'm as good as 6 men.
I think
I
that's
can
what we
do it.
should do. We should do Iowa Gravel Gang versus 6 amateurs, like just like GCN does, and then we could see if we can beat you, Eria.
Well, Hannah, she was on the pod. She's ready for us
Yeah,
guys.
actually, that would be a sweet one. Would be you and Hannah on a team, and then like 6 or 7 of us that are just amateurs on
We'll
the
beat
other
you
team.
guys.
Oh, that
It'll
would be
be
fun.
total
I bet you that
smackdown.
you could probably beat us. I bet you could.
Smackdown. Now that you
That'd be
guys will
fun.
never hear the end of it. If I beat you guys on that, you'll never hear the end of it. That's the only
I'll
thing we'll
put
be
you
able
on
to talk
mute.
about.
Don't worry. I'll put you on mute.
So what's that called? The
24
Pueblo.
hours of
24 hours
Pueblo.
of all Pueblo.
Yeah.
You
Hey, you
should
know
check it
another
out.
one? One other one that I actually kind of want to do, go back to the vegan cyclist or whatever, VC Adventures or whatever he calls himself now. The Rock Cobbler.
Yeah,
That race
that
looks amazing. Like if
that
anyone
looks
hasn't,
fun.
like if you just want like a motivational, I want to go ride my gravel bike, go watch some of his recaps of the Rock Cobbler race.
That
It's out
looks
in
fun.
California.
Is that where the bull ran into this guy?
I think it
Remember
was. Yeah, I think it
that
was.
was that race, right?
Yeah. So yeah,
Just
you get to bullfight and ride
oh,
through a
demolished him.
house, and yeah, it looks cool though. Like it
Yeah,
looks amazing.
yeah, I'll be down for that. The rock cobbler looks fun. Some of those exposed cliffs, though, when you're riding there at 20 miles an hour
Yeah,
and you have 400 feet to roll down, I'm like, oh, man, you clip your pedal on the inside and you are done.
yeah,
Like they're picking you
live
up in a
dangerously.
bucket.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
no, I'm down for that. So we got a list going. We've got a list going for sure. So
Okay, so we're 50 minutes in now. I don't think we can do a real Unbound preview, but maybe like we can hit on some highlights of like what are we most excited about Unbound this year? Like, be it tech, be it racers, be it the fact that it's streaming for free on YouTube. I don't know if people know that or not, but it's going to be for free on YouTube. Like, Aria, what are you most excited about Unbound this year?
I'm, I think I'm just excited to see if there's like another knockout, like drag out fight. I just don't want another Keegan show. I wanted like last year where there's a huge field and people fight all the way to the line. I'm hoping for that. So I'm super stoked.
Yeah.
But
Do you
yeah, I
think
think
there's
for
a
me, I
chance?
just
Do you think, like, I mean, with all this training that people have done, there is a chance that there could be a real group? I mean, there was, what, 9 people that came to the finish last year, which was like pretty big group for a 200-mile
yeah.
race. But I mean, do you think?
Well,
What do you
so I was
think?
talking to some pros over in Hico. It's the thing is starting to happen, and I want to hear you guys' opinion on that. But you know, the PAS, the Panama team, they're kind of having a team,
Panama,
uh,
yeah. So they're doing
and they're
team
throwing,
tactics. Yeah.
yeah, they're throwing like 4 or 5 guys. They got this at Hico. They got demolished. The Dutch Mafia was, you had Nikki Tapstra, you had like some strong fellas from the Dutch guys. But if I'm curious to see if there's going to be more like maybe Specialized is going to do something. Matt Beers. I know Howard Grass is still out of the equation. I'm curious to see what how that's going to look. If there's going to be more team tactic. Excuse me. But what are your thoughts? Do you think like once we have teams in gravel, do you think that's going to ruin gravel, or do you think it's going to be more entertaining?
Oh, I think it's gonna be more entertaining.
It can
Yeah.
go
Like I
both
think
ways.
like I mean I think it's gonna I think it's gonna be more entertaining on a pro level because like it's I was just thinking about this the other day. It's so hard to watch. Like yeah, the fact that they're streaming Unbound on YouTube, like it's so hard to really watch that because
It's a,
everybody's for themselves, and so like you really can't predict like how the strategy and how the team tactics of the race are going to work out to know like okay, are we in a lull period where it's going to be an hour and a half of nothing going on? But you just never know because like it's like individual racers that are just being super super cagey, and so I think it makes the strong riders attack and ride away from everyone, and the riders that are not as strong they just sit and wait for their opportunity. I think when you start to introduce team tactics in gravel, I think it gets fun. Like, and maybe I'm like alone in that opinion, but the thought of like a lead out on gravel into a B road for someone to launch, like you're talking insanity, like fighting for position, like crashes for
Well,
sure. Like,
Yeah, I don't know that that's
yes and
yeah.
no. Yes and no. But look at last year's gravel world championships. Didn't you have like 6 Belgian guys?
yeah, but they were all
No.
none of them were riding for each other. Like they were riding for like they don't.
Yeah, but at some point they were kind of trying to like bring back Vanderpool,
I mean, they were
and
trying because
they
they
were trying
all
to
had
attack
to,
him.
but like they
Yeah,
weren't riding as a team. Like the thought of having, we talked a few episodes ago about how Keegan and Sophia dominate everything.
yeah.
Like, I think if you take someone like Alexi or Russell Finsterwald or, Dylan Johnson, like you give Dylan Johnson a team, like it could be kind of cool. Like I think he could really compete with Keegan on some of these races and things like that because, there are
You think he has
strategies.
enough talent to keep up with Keegan though?
I mean, maybe not, but like I mean, if you're like, let's go super crazy. Let's say instead of the lifetime you get points for your position. What if it was like a traditional GC battle where it's time and you're looking at what is your overall time for all of the lifetime races, and at that point like you really could introduce team tactics because like say Dylan Johnson has Russell Finsterwald on his team and Russ is like 2 minutes down and Dylan's 3 minutes down on Keegan and Russ goes up the road, like Keegan has to chase at that point and then Dylan can like sit in at that, and it's just like traditional road tactics, like,
Yeah,
which I know a lot of people say that's boring, but I think it gets way more interesting because of the terrain also. Like there still is that unknown element of like what does the terrain do, and all the tactics in the world work until like the terrain dictates that the strongest riders have to come out. But I would love to see teams. I think it would be super cool. Like I think it would make people be more aggressive in their setups because they would say like, okay, I'm not so worried about a flat because I know I can take my teammate's bike if I flat, or I mean, I think it would just be super super cool.
I want to know. This is your job, Eria.
yeah.
We need to know how many people are racing with a full rear disc wheel.
There's gonna be
Chase
only one
Work.
guy.
Chase Work.
Only one guy.
No, I've seen a couple. I've seen a couple builds that are I think are
Oh,
going to be
somebody
full
else
disc.
is going for this,
Yeah.
huh?
Built by Trey, that
Well, we'll
guy over
see.
there. He released some bike that had a big old disc that was supposed to be for Unbound.
Marginal gains. I'm like, what happened to just good old just throwing power at it?
Get away get rid of that front brake. You don't need that.
Did you see actually on that
I
topic,
actually
like
agree with
what's
that.
his name? Chase cut off the drops on his
I
handlebar.
did see that. Yeah, I don't
I'm
get
like,
that. I don't get
I'm
that
like,
because like I can't imagine it's that much more aerodynamic. He doesn't know if it's more aerodynamic because like I don't think Chase Ward gets in a wind tunnel. So like he
yeah,
maybe based it off of someone else's result, but like my big thing when you start talking about like cutting things off like that is that
yeah,
if go back to your race in at Gravel Locos, you were tired, which means that like you probably couldn't hold the same position that you normally would if you were
no,
like, and so the difference between being here like on the drops or on the hoods and like relaxing a little bit and sitting up
yeah.
is infinitely more important than cutting off some
Oh yeah,
little bit
yeah.
of your bike, like,
No, normally,
yeah,
yeah. Actually, that's a good point because like I was, running low on energy. Normally,
you're
like if
sitting
I get
up,
on the
yeah.
flat section, I'll usually get, puppy paws on my handlebars and just go that way. I couldn't do it. I was just
Yeah.
like, man, I'm like weak. I'm gonna
Were you
crash.
were you running aero bars?
No, nope.
I
I
guess
just
that's another. I mean, I guess last year we were all talking about aero bars. Now we're talking about rear discs, disc
yeah,
wheel.
and chopped off freaking drop
Yeah,
bars.
yeah.
Yeah, it's silly.
No, I thought that was kind of weird too. I was like, I'm all for marginal gains, but I'm like,
Yeah.
there's the purist in me. I'm like, let's race bikes, and okay, disc wheel I'm okay with because that's part of bike racing. But I'm like, I want to just keep the bike looking like a bike, you know. But
I don't care so much. I mean, like if people want to go crazy, like it's totally fine as long as like it's still bike racing and not time trialing. Like when it comes time trialing, like I really don't want to see that. I want to see bike racing. I want to see people banging bars, like shouldering each other for position and like being able to do that. But um, yeah, I think Chase Work is a meme a little bit.
marginal guy.
He's a bit of a meme, but
Yeah,
and I like him. And he's strong. I mean, he's had really good
yeah, he's a strong
performances.
rider.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know about all that
So
noise.
the exciting part, Lachlan is doing
The
the
XL,
350.
yeah.
So you think
Oh
he's gonna
wow,
just you think he's gonna win that?
probably.
Yes, I do
Right?
think
That's what I'm
I do think he's going to win it. I do think that there will be competition though, because I think that event has become more
Ted King's doing
popular.
it.
Okay, I said competition. There will be competition. Ted King is a participant in that race. I love Ted King, but he's not going to beat Lachlan. But I do think there are people that are starting to like really focus on that kind of distance, and I think it's honestly short enough to where Lachlan's crazy ability to do wild endurance,
Yeah.
like could like I don't think it's long enough for him to really show what his true talents are.
No.
Like
He's
if it
just
was
gonna be
a
getting started.
double XL, okay, cool. Lachlan smokes everybody.
Yeah,
But
nobody's touching
I
him on
think
that
that there
one.
could be some competition, like for some people. Like I think he wins for sure, but I
Yeah.
hope that
Ted
would be a cool race to see.
Ted King got 15th last weekend.
Yeah. It was hot, man. He got hot. He got hot.
Who won?
Tandem got hot. Huh?
Ro-
Who won?
Ramon
I think the top five were all Dutch guys.
Ramon something or other. It looked like
Yeah.
it was a sprint finish because there was
Yeah.
like
Oh, I didn't tell you guys.
six or eight people had the same time essentially.
They that front group, passed me.
There was a Texan in there, I think.
There wasn't what?
There was a Texan in the front
Oh, there was.
in the top five. Yeah.
Oh, so those guys caught me on a downhill, and I was like, "Let's go! I'm gonna jump on," and I jumped on for a little bit, but man, they were freaking cruising.
It scared the piss out of you, didn't it?
Yeah, we got around this corner. I have it on camera. It will be in the full video when we put it up here this week. Man, they went around this corner loose, super loose, probably 35 miles an hour. Like that's where my paycheck stops right there.
Were they riding 2.0 tires?
No. So the Hico gravel is more rock than dirt. So they're riding look like 42s,
Yeah,
maybe 45s at the most.
skinny tires.
Yeah, so skinny tires, because much of the course is really fast.
Yeah.
Really fast. But there is a few sections where the downhills are super rocky. So if you don't get off your saddle, you're probably going to definitely puncture. But
Use that
yeah, I
dropper
tried.
post, guys.
Huh?
Use that dropper post, guys.
Yeah, right. Or know your tire pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
I
think
think
about these new Zipp wheels with tire pressure gauges in them? It's like the
Yeah,
tire
I
wheels
saw
all
those.
over
Yeah,
again.
I wanted to hear
I
Jason's
think
opinion.
it's cool, but I
Dumbest thing
mean,
ever. Dumbest thing ever. Like,
okay, so now I know what my tire pressure is for the whole ride.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I failed to see where that would be beneficial for average riders like mine. Actually, even the pro guys. I'm like,
Yeah.
if you're chasing, yeah, okay, I'm getting a slow leak, but what are you gonna do about it if you're in
Exactly.
the Flint Hills and you're like 40 miles from the next checkpoint?
The only place
Like,
I could see it being valuable is if you're doing something like the world's longest climb, where you're going from zero altitude up to like
oh
12,000 feet.
yeah,
And like at that point your tire pressure is going to increase, right?
yep,
But again, I I
yeah,
really don't get it. Unless it's like a
yeah,
two-step release where they're going to be like, "Hey, you can monitor your tire pressure, and then they're going to release something where you can adjust your tire pressure.
Well, there you go. Now we're talking about.
Now we're talking.
Yeah,
like
now
cool.
that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense. Like that would be sick. I mean, and I know that's out there, but I don't know any patents that SRAM has dropped or released to like do that. And I saw this and I'm like, guys.
So now
there's so many
we've
things
got
to
that
do.
we're monitoring the tire pressure. Now, how much? All right. So how do you interface and or whatever? I don't know what you call it, but all right, I'm riding along. My tire pressure. Oh shit, it's 45. I probably should have it up to 50 because I'm going to get a
Yeah,
road
right?
check in here.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what button
Yeah.
on my Wahoo Garmin?
Your flight deck. Your flight
My
deck.
flight
Yeah, that's
deck
right.
do
Your
I-
flight deck
all right,
was
now I
probably out
gotta
the window.
now I'm going to look down at my handlebars for 30 seconds to try and figure out where this is. In the meantime, I'm slowing down like
Dude,
2 miles an hour because
totally
I'm
agree.
trying to figure out where I got my tire pressure bumped up to where it needs to be. Good. All right, now I'm going again. Meantime, 6
Yeah.
people passed me. because I was-
who is this for? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
the only thing I could see it being useful for is like watching a race and you're like, I wonder what tire pressure they're running, and they're broadcasting,
Yeah.
oh, they're at 23, 22.
Like you said,
it's like
yeah.
stupid. Yeah.
Maybe if you're doing Paris-Roubaix, you're doing the Cabos, and they can adjust your pressure for you on the fly.
Yeah.
You're approaching that, they drop it down a couple psi, and you float through. And other than that, I'm like, yeah, makes
Pointless.
no sense.
We're going to have our AIs adjust our tire pressure for us.
Our AIs. I know you're
That's
not a boomer, but like that's the most boomer thing I've
There's
ever
two
heard.
S's in there.
Our AIs. The
You know what?
Facebooks are telling me
I'm,
that the AIs are coming
Jason's got
after.
Facebook. He's got Facebook.
I'm naming my when I get an AI, I'm gonna name it Eria.
Yeah,
So I can yell out, damn it, Eria, pump my
Eria.
tires up.
Give me the answers.
Eria.
I want to bring on a guest. She's a super strong rider out of Bentonville, and according to say that she's an investor in an AI company that does it kind of like trainer, but except they use like maybe chat GPT on the back end of things. But you sign up for this app, you now this is where I'm like skeptical about the AI, but you give them your blood sample and they run it they run it through all kinds of tests and stuff, and then they are able to the AI is able to be like, all right, Graham needs 90 grams of carbs every 45 minutes, not every hour, kind of thing. And then if you come back and you don't hit your power numbers, it's gonna ask you, hey, how was your race? And you'll be like, all right, this is my ride. You punch in your GPS file, your feed file from your Garmin, your Wahoo, whatever. And then it's like, all right, based on this, looks like your hydration was off. Your heart rate is too high because of this. And it's just going to readjust your training plan. And you'll be like, all right, this is a new one. Try this. Maybe eat this at this time and see how that goes. But she agreed to come on and kind of talk about it. But her family is kind of has some connections and they've invested in it. Very interesting. I'm just like, anytime you give your blood to somebody, there goes your DNA and stuff.
Especially the AI.
Yeah.
They'll be cloning me.
Right?
Sure enough, I'll be getting cloned.
Then there'll be 10 more guys riding no drop of Zippos.
That's what I've always thought about Strava, man. Like, not to go dark, like, into the world thing, but Strava, I don't know what they're doing with all of our data. But if they aren't sharing all of that with insurance companies and things like that, it would surprise me. Because they have heart rates, they have calories, they have so many of these physical trends, like biomarkers in you that and it's only getting more and more detailed. Like
your Garmin, same thing, right?
Yeah.
They sleep. They know how much you're sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
can't. Like, I keep worrying. Like, if I apply for an update to our like life insurance policy or something, that they're gonna be like, hey, your Whoop said that you haven't been sleeping so well because of X, Y, and Z. We don't think we can insure you.
You are a liability to us. You're gonna cost us money.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
Like I feel
it's
like they're
interesting.
gonna come back to bite us with this stuff. Hopefully by then I'm too old to worry about it.
Well,
But
fortunately,
yeah.
I got the new Whoop, and
Oh
like
yeah.
it shows your like relative age, right? So I'm not going to tell you how old I am,
What's it?
but I'm not going to tell the audience how old I am.
What's your relative age? Come on, tell us.
However, my relative age is 8 years younger than what my actual age is.
What? Whoop is wrong.
Oh,
There's no way. Are you that much fitter than I and Jason?
Relatively speaking.
What?
Yeah, I
Jason.
know.
Jason, what's your fitness age
Garmin
on your
says
Garmin?
I'm 21.
Man, get out.
That's because you just put in that you drink 9 beers a night and you wake up feeling good the next day. They're like, the guy
Yeah,
must be 21.
he's rigging the freaking system here. Still, Garmin's walking off skewed data. Maybe that's how we build the insurance companies.
No, I
You
think they
know,
said my fitness age was it's low. It's like
mine's only like a year younger than my actual age. So
Bro,
you
I'm
know,
in my 20s. I'm in my 20s.
grab after this. You need to send us a screenshot.
I'm gonna send you a screenshot of it and I'll show you.
Yeah,
I
we
feel like
want to see this.
Lindsay wanted me to find mine and it was like 30 or something. I thought, where the heck was it?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. I'm a specimen though,
You
Yeah,
are.
you are quite the.
We can all
special
strive to be
specimen.
like you.
Once they clone you, you'll be freaking running. They will have 10 Jasons running around.
All we
No
gotta do
tire
is
wheeze.
we just gotta eat Shoney's a bunch. It sounds like Eria. Just go to
Yeah,
Shoney's. Eria, do you don't even know what Shoney's is?
I've heard of it, but I've never been
Oh,
to one.
it's a magical place.
Yeah.
They were like West Virginia area.
Tennessee. They're
Yeah.
like Phil Fulmer, coach of UT, lived in my hometown. Used to go to Shoney's at least like 3 times a week.
What would be an equivalent for the Midwest?
I mean, I would say
Waffle House.
no, stop.
Yeah.
Oh,
It would be like
IHOP.
like no. It's like more like a Golden Corral, like
Kind of.
or
Barrel maybe.
what's that?
Cracker Barrel.
No,
It's a buffet.
Yeah, there's a buffet.
Ah.
Tell you what, come down to visit. I'll take you to Shoney's. It'll be fine. It'll be great.
No, I want to come down. What's that grub race you've been saying?
Southern
yeah,
Cross, or
we'll come down there and check it out.
Yeah, there are a couple good ones in Georgia. Or like DW or Asheville would be cool. We just had the
You
Hank
drive us all over the place.
Man, I'll take you for a trip. I got
I am
several
not
people
touching
from
my
Iowa
credit
coming
card the
down.
whole weekend.
Yeah, just hand me your credit card. I'll make sure you have a good time.
Oh no, that works that way. You know, when you come visit me, everything will be on me. When I
No,
come
listen,
visit you, everything's gonna be on you.
you come to me, it'll be a business expense. It'll be fine.
Oh, that's true.
Ooh.
I can expense that. Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
expense that. But yeah, well, shall we close it out, guys?
I
120.
think so. Yeah, I think so.
I
Aria,
didn't even overheat today.
should we expect some content this week leading up to
Oh yeah,
Unbound?
for sure. I think tomorrow looks like we get a break in the rain, so I'm gonna head down to. I'm like right on the main street where all the mayhem is. Happen. So tomorrow we'll get a break in the rain. Oh yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
Oh,
Thanks
I've been
for the
taking mine.
olive.
Yeah.
You get both bottles. The girls didn't keep one at the shipping place.
What's that?
You got 2 bottles, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay, good.
I opened this one up and I cooked my eggs with it the other day.
Ooh.
I thought
And
I
I've been
thought you were
taking-
about to take a pull. I thought
I've
you were
been
just
taking
about
the
to take a
pills
pull.
every day. I will take a shot. Have you guys tried it?
I haven't
yeah.
tried the olive oil. I've been taking the pills
the capsules.
every day though. Yeah, the capsules every day.
And I don't know if
try
this is placebo for me, but yeah. How is it, Jason?
I mean, look at him. His color. He's brightening up. Like I mean,
Yeah.
look at him.
You
can definitely feel it
in your throat.
Yes. Yeah, you do.
It's like ketones.
Yeah, you can definitely taste that in your throat.
Yeah, like
Good.
it really hits you, right? But it's absolutely like full of flavor, but it hits you. But and I'm trying to think here, because I take like a capsule every morning,
Yeah.
and then rest day I did 2. Like actually, the 3 days I rode in Hico, I did 2 pre-ride. Before every ride, I took 2, And I don't know if that helped, because man, I felt good in the last 10 miles. Like I felt good. I was just going all out. So I don't know if, maybe like I was recovering. Like every morning I woke up and I was recovered, fully ready to rock and roll, which usually when it's that hot outside, I'm like, Garmin is telling me I have 200 hours of recovery, rest. But so it was good. It's good.
So I had this cold this week, and my stuff came, and I was in the middle of the cold. And the first thing I did was pop 2 of those. And yeah, the next day I woke up feeling. I mean, I still had the cold, but
Yeah.
I was feeling pretty good.
Well,
Muscular wise.
Yeah, and Graham is not using because in the South that's butter. He's got 20 pounds of butter in that fridge. He's like, I gotta, my butter before I use it. So
I've added it on top of my weekly allotment of butter. I just
Oh yeah.
So. Yeah.
All right, guys. Until next time. Next time we talk, we'll be in. I'll be back in the home base. I didn't overheat today. No overheating today.
I know, right?
Use
this camera every time.
Yeah, this was my. I used my laptop today.
All right.
All right, guys.
It's been fun. Happy
Good
Memorial
chat.
Day.
Pieces. I'll be out there, man. I'm gonna be doing interviews for the pod. I'm gonna talk to
if we need to do an emergency pod when you get Keegan, just let us know. We'll bring him on and.
So Keegan's kind of hard to talk to, man.
I've heard
like
that.
he's not a very talkative guy.
Yeah.
Always kind of like in a box. He's kind of a shy guy. I don't know. I've talked to him. He talks, but he's kind of one of those people you have to, keep getting the words out of. Whereas some other people, you start talking to them, it's like you can have a conversation. Keegan's more like
the dude listens to metal and rides his bike for 40 hours a week. The guy's
Yeah.
probably not great at talking.
Yeah, probably in his mind is like it's talking to you, like thinking about his next freaking Zone 2 ride that's gonna last 5 hours.
Or what box of cereal.
What kind of metal does he listen to?
Man,
I don't know. You have to. Eria's gonna ask.
There you go, Eria. Find out.
Bring him
What's he
on,
listening to?
Eria. Let's bring him on the pod, and we'll talk about his playlist.
when I find him, I'll sure be like, hey man, come on to our pod here, talk to these guys. I can bring him on. We'll bring him on. We'll see. Then we'll find out what freaking metal he listens.
If we have time, we'll bring him on. If not, like I understand. Like I mean, there's a
Dude,
lot.
That's the thing. It's like people are lining up to get on our podcast. So it's like we gotta be like, look here, man. They have to fit our mold. They gotta match our cadence. Can be out there. I didn't see a single tandem out there.
Meandering conversations. Is that what we're looking for?
That's right. That's right.
I wonder, is he like old school Megadeth, Anthrax, or is he like, new Metallica? I don't know. New Metallica is not really metal anymore.
Eria, that's your homework. That's your homework.
Okay.
Figure out what's Keegan's. I need Keegan's Unbound playlist so we can talk about it.
All right. I'll get busy on that.
Sweet.
All right, guys.
All right. Have fun out there. We'll see you guys later.
Catching you guys. All right.
Peace
Tuesday
out.
next week.
All right.
Thank you all for watching, by the way. Everybody out there in the chat. There was like people came in and gone. So awesome. Let me end the stream here.